Hello folks, hope you're all well. I'm up and out early this morning. The alarm started blaring at 5:15 and I threw myself out of bed to try and get it off before it woke the wife up. But I got myself fed and watered, the gear into the Shogun, and a short drive out to this field that I've been hoping to hit for a long time. A local farmer that I'm friendly with asked me if I could do something about the amount of hooded crows in his ground, but I had to decline the offer as the lockdown had started. But he was quite gracious about it and said don't worry about it, they'll still be there after the lockdown's finished. So now things has eased up, here I am. I'm using my usual setup with a dead crow for a decoy and a dead rabbit split open for bait, set out at about 40 yards, and of course the bush pop-up hide for concealment. The rifle I have with me this morning is my FAC FX Crown, running at about 960 feet per second with .22 Hades pellets. The scope is a Bushnell Tactical Elite 2.5 to 16 by 42, and I'm running the side shot scope mount with a FireFly SE8 action camera with 90-degree lens. The first bird down was actually a magpie, within minutes of me actually sitting into the hide. I got the cameras all on him and was going to take the shot until I realised I hadn't even loaded the magazine yet. But for some reason, by the time I had loaded up, I'd sort of changed my mind and decided to let him go for now, as I really was after a hooded crow or two to test the Hades on. Then I had a rather unusual visitor. Yep, it's a nice fox in its summer coat. It's obviously interested in the setup, but it's been remarkably cautious. I suspect it can smell my fresh scent around the decoy and bait setup. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's going to shoot it. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but no. In the old days, well, that was the old days, when our country's little checkered history made it very difficult to get a hold of even a 2.2 rimfire, never mind a centerfire. Thankfully these days the restrictions have eased up quite a bit, but I recently discovered that the Firearms and Explosives branch here in Northern Ireland do not consider high-powered air rifles or rimfires as suitable for fox control, which I have confirmed not only with my local registered firearms dealer, but also with the BASC. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy watching this fox go about its business. Of course, while I was busy gawking round me, a hooded crow landed at the bait. So I got the scope cam quickly switched on and got ready for the shot. Crow down, or so I thought, until I realised the bird was struggling to get back on its feet. So I put a quick second shot into it to make sure. That done the job, though I was a bit disappointed it needed 2 shots with the Hades pellets. But in hindsight, I don't think it was their fault. I think I might have pulled the shot a wee bit to the side, plus I realised later that the scope was set at 30 yards and not 40. The magpie's back again, and this time I'm cocked and loaded. I'm very interested to see how the Hades do in these birds. Looks like the Hades have no problem with magpies. Foxy's back, and it looks like it's found something tasty to eat. Now, I don't live very far away, but I'm in no panic to rush home for the centre fire just to see if I can put lead in this thing. The fields are empty, there's no sheep in them, so I don't think they're causing any harm, but I'll check with the farmer, and if he wants them removed, I know where to find them. I'd been sitting quite a while, as the morning had stretched on a good bit by the time this hooded crow landed, but I was still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as ever. Well, actually I'd nodded off in the hide. Only to open my eyes and see that a hooded crow was sitting out in front of me. So I quickly got the side shot and the FireFly SE8 recording and got ready for the shot. This time I managed to get a full frontal chest shot, and the bird went down like a sack of spuds, hardly a flutter, just the way you'd like it. So the Hades must be doing a good job after all. So long as I do my bit, that is. Goodness, looks like the fox numbers here have doubled all of a sudden. Oh, looks like my decoy setup has caught this one's interest. But it's been very cautious. You think a nice free meal like a dead rabbit sitting out like that, it would be in like a shot. But nope, there's obviously something it doesn't like about it. They don't seem to be able to smell me in the hide, because it's walking towards me. It's got a really nice summer coat on it. And it's really only about 20 yards away from me and has no idea I'm here. Whether the hide's shielding my scent from it, or the breeze just isn't blowing in its direction. It's having a good think about it. But decides to follow its mate. Okay, we'll see how we done this end. A wee bit disappointed with what I got, but can't really do much about it. That's my decoy bird, another dead crow set up in a wee stand I have, and rabbit split open for bait. Now I've been itching to get out on this bit of ground since the lockdown started, so I'm a wee bit disappointed in how little I've got. This is the first bird I took. I was using the Hades pellets, as I found the 18 grain JSBs sort of penciled right through these crows. Great in head shooting rabbits, very accurate in the crown, but for some reason it penciled right through these birds. And I had a lot of fly-offs and birds running across the field which I had to go out the hide and chase down, which doesn't sit well with me. so I was very interested to see how the Hades done, and it seemed to be not too bad. Now this bird I think was sitting quartered onto me when I took it somewhere in there. It looked as if it went down but needed a second shot, as I seen it moving about a bit. Though it might have been pilot error, as afterwards I realised that the gun was zeroed for 30 yards instead of 40, so the pellet might have hit a wee bit low. That seems to be the pellet hole there. Seems to be a young bird. Still got a wee bit of fud about it. Then I shot the magpie, which went down no bother at all. That was side on. There's where the pellet came through the corner of the wing. Decked it no bother at all, so I was glad about that. Birds didn't seem at all interested, even the magpies, which usually go buck mad when they see one of their fellow members lying dead, but all they done was land up in the tree above where I have my hide and didn't come down to the ground, which is odd. Then I got this bird. I'd sort of given up on getting another bird, and I'd nodded off in the hide, only to open my eyes, lift my head up, and this boy was walking up to the setup. Took him right in the chest. I'd say by the look of it, it's another young bird. Took in the chest, there he is there. And he went down like a sack of spuds on the spot. Not a flinch out of him, which is just what I was looking for. See, in the front of the chest, or in the back between the shoulder blades, is the two favourite places I like hitting them. So we didn't blank, didn't get as many as I'd liked, but with two hooded crows and a magpie, and it seems to be the Hades is doing a good job, better than the 18 grains anyway. So we'll get packed up and get home and get something to eat. Well, I didn't get as many birds as I'd hoped to in this field, or have done in the past, but at least the morning wasn't a total loss, and I did get to see how the Hades would perform on hooded crows, which does look very encouraging.